Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Kyle Henderson, BamaInsider.com. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Got a great show lined up for you. We're going to talk some team nuggets. I know you want to get those nuggets that everybody craves. I got those nuggets for you coming up. This will be a call-in show, so 205-686-3604. I got a few things that I want to talk about with you. I want to dive into a couple of team aspects. Tuesday night is our recruiting show with Andrew Bone. I know Randall Williams already got us a super chat, so thank you so much for that. We appreciate it. It's a recruiting show, but we'll definitely get to it. Here's a show outline for tonight, and new contracts were approved for the assistant coaches at Alabama. Now, one coach didn't get a contract that was approved, so we'll talk about that in just a second. Will Alabama schedule? What will it look like for this coming season, and when will the season actually be dropped? Offensive nuggets, defensive nuggets. Of course, I'll take your calls at 205-686-3604. Remember, all super chats go to the house. Kyle Henderson, the host of tonight's show. So thank you for being with me tonight. And if you're listening on Thursday's podcast, thank you for listening as well. We appreciate it. So here's a show outline, and got to get to Randall Williams real quick because he did hook us up with the super chat earlier in the show. And Randall Williams, one of our top posters right here on BamaInsider.com. What happens if, say, Bama gets commits from their third, fourth, fifth, and sixth favorite at the position, and they can only take 4 and then the number 1 at the position if he wants to stay and come? How is that handled? Well, I think, Randall, what's going to happen with this particular class, and again, this is a team show, so I want all the questions to come in from the team aspects, and then we'll leave Andrew to handle those recruiting questions. But I think what's going to happen with this particular class is it has so much momentum that I think that Alabama is going to be able to do whatever they want to, right? They have 16 committed prospects, and I think it's going to get interesting to see how many guys that they can take. Now, talking with Andrew Bone, he said that they could take maybe 27 guys in this class. It's going to be a big class. So sitting on 16 right now, 2 more could jump on August 15th. We talked about that last night. If you want to rewatch that show, go to BamaInsider.com. So plenty to talk about, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this class. A very good class, no doubt about it. As I said, and as I always say, please let me know where you're coming from in the comment box. It always fires me up to see where you guys are coming from. Call and show 205-686-3604, and I'll take your calls in just a minute. I want to showcase the contracts that were approved for Alabama, the assistant coaches today. Steve Sarkisian, offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, now making $2.5 million. That's up from $1.5 that he made last season. Did you know this? Steve Sarkisian is now the highest paid assistant coach in the entire country. Yeah, Steve Sarkisian, well worth it. Has done a fantastic job with Alabama, especially that offense. And that offense is extremely loaded going into the 2020 season. Jeff Banks, special teams coordinator, tight end, $750,000, up from $540 last season. Jeff Banks, if you don't know about him, follow him on Twitter. Does a great job for Alabama. Works with the tight ends and also with the special teams. You have Charles Huff. Looks like they're getting a bargain with Mr. Huff, the way he's recruiting, right? $550,000, up from $525 last season. I think he's only going up. Also has the title of associate head coach. Holman Wiggins, the wide receiver coach, $475, up from $450. And Kyle Flood stays at $650. And a lot of people are asking, well, what happened? Why didn't he get a new contract? His contract expires next season. He's definitely going to get a bump that next time, but his contract still goes through this particular year. That's why you don't see a new movement with Kyle Flood. Okay, how about on the defensive side, right? Here are the new contracts that were approved from Alabama. Pete Golding, the defensive coordinator, inside linebackers coach, 1.2, up from 1.1 last season. Charles Kelly, associate defensive coordinator, safeties coach, from $800,000 to $825, up from $800,000 last season. Freddie Roach, Alabama's new defensive line coach. Remember, he's been at Alabama before as a strength coach, and now he's back coaching the D-line, played at Alabama as well. $700,000. That's his contract. Sal Sinceri, outside linebackers coach, $675, up from $650. And Carl Scott, cornerbacks coach, $550, up from $525 last season. What do you think about the new contracts? Curious to get your comments in the comment box. Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. Always appreciate to see where you guys are coming from. So put that in the comment box. And I wanted to run through our super chat Hall of Honor. It's something that, we've added to the show, and we have such a great community right here. So you see the Club 100, Tony Hill jumped into that last night on the recruiting show. You have Randall Williams inching his way up. That's updated, by the way, just outside Club 100. And then you got the field level bombs, Paul Robinson, Alex, and Jackie White definitely climbing up there. And then you got the upper deck and the tailgate crew. So no matter where you're at, thank you so much for joining us right here on BamaInsider.com. And of course, if you can't super chat, then of course you can definitely give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for future content. Plenty of ways to connect with BamaInsider.com. Two more that I want to showcase before we move forward. How about this one? Director of Sports and Science, Dr. Matt Ray on the left, also received a 2-year deal and will earn $450,000 in his first year and $475,000 in his second year. Director of Sports Performance, David Ballou, received a 2-year agreement that will earn him $500,000 this season before seeing a pay raise of $525,000 next season. These guys have done a tremendous job at Alabama already, and we haven't even seen what they're going to do in the end after working with these prospects and these young men that are at Alabama for a full season. Now they have the new sports science complex ready to go. These guys were the perfect fit. So I know a lot of people were worried about Scott Cochran when he left Georgia, but it looks like Nick Saban always finds a way to upgrade. Isn't that amazing that he always finds a way to upgrade? So another kind of pro tip that you might not know about, but all these graphics that you see on BamaInsider.com, I create all of those. So I do all the B-roll, the videos that you see, all the graphical layouts. That's something that I find a hobby. So I also do that as well. Just kind of a insider tip. Here's a show outline, new contracts. We talked about that. And now we're moving towards what will Alabama's schedule look like for this coming season. All right. So this was posted by Jeff Banks, who I talked about earlier on Twitter. And Alabama has somewhat of a pyramid of, be a champion in their locker room. And as you can see, some of the teams were taken off that because now the SEC is only having a conference-only schedule. So we do know this, that Alabama will play Texas A&M, Auburn, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Tennessee, LSU, Georgia, and Ole Miss. In what order? I have no idea. Who will be the 2 additional teams that Alabama will play? Well, a lot of people are saying that it looks to be Florida and Vanderbilt. We talked about that and reasons why, because those are the next teams on the rotation. How would you feel about Alabama playing Vanderbilt, and how would you feel about Alabama playing Florida? I'm curious to get your thoughts in the comment box. The Big Ten released their schedule today. Did you see Ohio State's schedule? Did you see Wisconsin's schedule? Seemed like they set them up for some success, right? That's just kind of my opinion on their schedule. I think Barstool definitely, had a cupcake logo. So I thought that was fitting. And we definitely got Paul Robinson jumping in, and appreciate the super chat. So every time you get the super chat, you get the cash register. So thank you so much for the super chat, Paul Robinson. And I agree with you. I think Huff certainly deserves a big raise and just the job that he's done from a recruiting standpoint, but also working with the running backs. And we'll talk about running backs in just a minute. And I got a great nugget for you on Trey Sanders, so stay with us right here on BamaInsider.com. I agree 100%, Paul. I think Charles Huff has done a fantastic job. All right, back to the show outline and what we're going to talk about next. So now we're going to dive into those offensive team nuggets. And I dropped a video and I told you guys, you can get those nuggets early at BamaInsider.com. The free promo code is simply Roll Tide at checkout. And I think a good place to start when we look at the offensive nuggets is I'll drop the big one right away. And that's on Trey Sanders. We're going to show Trey Sanders right now. 6 foot, 214 pound, will be a redshirt freshman. Remember, he was hurt last season. And from what I gather, Trey Sanders has been electric early on at Alabama's camp. This is a young man who is working tremendously hard to really get on the field. You got Najee Harris, you got Brian Robinson, but you got Trey Sanders that's coming back. And from what I gather, he's an all-purpose back that's been doing a fantastic job catching the football out of the backfield, been doing a good job in pass protection and everything that goes with the responsibilities of being a running back. Najee Harris is clearly the guy, but sources tell me that Trey Sanders could be that number 2 running back sooner than later. And it really doesn't surprise me. I think when you look at a player like Trey Sanders and you really look at the running back room, there's plenty of talent at that position. You got Najee Harris, you got Brian Robinson, the veterans on this team and guys who can certainly be the bell cow. That's Steve Sarkisian said when he first got here. The passing game opens once you get a running game that is productive. Brian Robinson, curious to see what he does during his senior season at Alabama. Trey Sanders, as we talked about, very talented. And I think what sets him apart is just the fact that he's an all-purpose guy, elite speed, can catch the football, very good in pass pro, understands the terminology. You got Kellen Robinson, lightning in a bottle. These guys all coming back. And then you got the 3 added freshmen. So you're talking about a loaded running back group. And how are you going to get all these guys the football? I'm glad I'm not the offensive coordinator on this team. But from what I gather, I'm just telling you right now, Trey Sanders is on fire and looking to make an impact this season. Missed last season with the foot injury. He's back working hard and couldn't be that guy that really steps up for Alabama. How about this guy? And this is kind of, I mean, this isn't really a nugget, but let's talk about Evan Neal. And you guys saw a quick update on Alabama. Give me 1 second. If I can bring that up real quick. I don't know if I can. But Evan Neal, and you saw that on social media today. I mean, 6'7", 360 pounds. Did you see him doing the plyo box? I mean, that guy is going to be playing on Sundays. Absolutely. Think about this for a second. He played all last season as a freshman at the guard position, moves to tackle this season. And I tweeted out some information earlier about Evan Neal, and it was retweeted by NFL scouts. And the original tweet came from Dr. Matt Ray, working with him. And you can just see the athleticism. 6'7", 360 pounds, very bright future ahead. You could see him being one of these guys that is certainly built by Bama and going to be playing on Sundays. Next guy we're going to talk about, and this is an interesting one right here. When you talk about Alabama's tight ends, you know that Miller Forrestall is returning for this coming season. He's kind of the guy, and we've talked about Jaleel Billingsley. How about this guy? I'm hearing that Cameron Latou, 6'5", 247-pound redshirt sophomore, has been turning heads. And if you remember, Cameron Latou out of Salt Lake City came to Alabama and has been working with the outside linebackers initially when he came to Alabama. Nick Saban moved him to work with the tight ends. But as you could see, he has a tremendous amount of athleticism and really a guy that has been stepping up. Now, is he going to stay on the offensive side? I was kind of trying to figure out if it would be an experiment or if he would move, back to the defensive side. But it looks like, from what I gather, that he is making an impact at the tight end position, showcasing his athleticism, his ability to catch the football, really being dynamic. And Alabama needs a tight end that can be dynamic. They have the veteran in Miller Forrestall, but you're going to need some guys. I know they have their wide receivers to choose from, right? Jalen Waddle, John Mechie, Devontae Smith, but you're going to need a guy at the tight end position to really step up. Miller Forrestall can get to that next level to put the head on the linebacker, but you need a guy who can also catch the football and make plays. Maybe that will be Cameron Latou. That would be interesting to me. How about this guy? You got Javon Baker, really turning heads. When you talk about freshmen who are just completely standing out, Javon Baker, and these are highlights from last season. And as you can see, he was electric. This was at the Rivals 5-Star Challenge. He was a true alpha male when I saw him at this camp. Can catch the football. This guy's turning heads. Here he is working with Bryce Young in that clip right there. You're talking about a guy coming into Alabama that wants to play. Now, this guy is going to get on the field as a freshman. He's going to play. He's been turning heads already. Of course, the pads aren't on. Alabama won't officially start training camp until August 17th, but know that Javon Baker is a guy definitely to watch. Now, you're probably wondering about the defensive side of the ball. And let me cruise through the comment box real quick. And I'll get through the comments in just a minute. I just want to get the show going. What's up, Bombs? I see you. And we got another super chat. Hey, Bombs, I see you, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support on the Nuggets. You know, these Nuggets are tough to acquire. And really, this is the only place you can get these type of Nuggets. And I'm just dropping, smidget of the Nuggets. You can get all the Nuggets back at BamaInsider.com. So thank you so much for the super chats. All the super chats definitely go back to BamaInsider.com. Let's see. I was talking about the defense and what are we going to see from the defense? And I leaked this out recently, and I know other people have been talking about this, but Ben Davis, 6'4", 243 pounds, now redshirt senior at Alabama. He's repping with the ones. I'll tell you that right now. Alabama's going to give him every opportunity to earn that outside linebacker position. Now it's up to Ben Davis to maintain that spot. There's some young freshmen, as you've seen. William Anderson is certainly a guy. In terms of him being the best overall player, I guess we'll have to see. But I mean, you got to remember, you got Dylan Moses on this team on the defensive side. If you really want to see a high IQ player, look up Dylan Moses' SEC interview right here on BamaInsiders.com's YouTube channel, and you can see just how bright Dylan Moses is. But I think with Ben Davis, if he can be that outside linebacker that can get to the quarterback along with Chris Allen, then I think your defense is really set. At least the linebackers in the D line, right? Because you have Chris Allen, who I think we all expect to really rise up and shine. And then you have Ben Davis, who will provide that veteran experience. You got the inside linebackers. From what I hear, looks like Christian Harris and Dylan Moses will be your guys on the interior, okay? I found this interesting when I was going through the roster and I was kind of writing my notes down. How about this? These guys are across the middle of the field. Look where they're all from. Baton Rouge, right? Dylan Moses, 6'3", 235 pounds, be your inside linebacker. I feel he's one of the best overall defensive players in the country returning. And I feel that Alabama has the best offensive player in the country in Jalen Waddle. Christian Harris, 6'2", 244, started every game as a freshman last year at Alabama, also from Baton Rouge. I know Dylan Moses transferred to the IMG, but I mean, his hometown, he's from Baton Rouge. Hang on to those calls. I'll get to those in just a minute. Call line is 205-686-3604 at the bottom of the screen. Then you got Chris Allen. And Chris Allen, 6'4", 250 pounds, linebacker from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Found that interesting. And I think Alabama is going to need to rely on all these four defensive players that I just talked about in order to have an effective season. And in order to really bolster up that defense. Pete Golding, this is a year for him. He's got to show improvement. And he has the guys to do that. We've talked about the defensive secondary. Patrick Surtain right now at the corner position. You have Jalen Armour-Davis at that star position. You have Daniel Wright working with the first team along with Jordan Battle. So those are your defensive and offensive nuggets. And if you want more of those in depth, especially stuff on the quarterbacks, you can go to BamaInsider.com. And next time I have a video, I'll continue to talk about each position and definitely take your calls. So let me kind of cruise through this and go over the show outline real quick and make sure I didn't miss anything. Talked about some offensive nuggets, defensive nuggets, and now it is time to take your calls. So 205-686-3604 is the call-in line. And just remember, we appreciate all the tip outs right here on BamaInsider.com. The super chats go right here to the staff, to me in particular tonight. So thank you so much for the tip outs. Tony Hill definitely in that club 100 after last night. And then you see Randall Williams certainly jumping up. Bombs and Paul Robinson continue to inch closer to that box seat category. And then the update, the upper deck and the tailgate crew. So, and then again, if you can't, join the super chat, just hit the like button and subscribe. We appreciate the content. We'll continue to deliver, whether you're in that club or not. And, we appreciate all the feedback that you give us. So call line is open. If you want to catch up with me, 205-686-3604 is the number to call into, and I will take your calls. I think when you look at this defense overall, really it goes back to, the guys that are going to be up front, and Alabama needs some of these younger guys to really step up. A lot of these guys were freshmen last year. DJ Zell, we've got to see a big season from him. Thought he did a fantastic job. Justin Ebogbe right there. I think he's another guy that can spot play. You got guys like Ismail Sopsher. We're waiting to see what he can do. Still trying to gain, some more insight to see how Sopsher is coming along. Of course, everybody knows that Barmore is going to be a man on fire. The way he played last season was tremendous. There's Sopsher right there, number 95. And I felt at times, there's Byron Young. I felt at times that Raekwon Davis could have done more for Alabama. And there's another guy that could play right there, Darian Mathis. So my point is, I think there's guys that, Alabama needs to see step up. And that's why, I'm curious to see how Freddie Roach works with these guys, being the first year defensive line coach. Brian Baker had a lot of experience working with the NFL. And now it's Freddie Roach's turn to work with these guys on the defensive line. All right, I'll take your calls 205 686 3604. And I'll catch up with you guys and we can rap a little bit about this team. Also on the defensive side. And just like we talked about, I think this young man, number 4, really got to have a big year. We talked about the outside linebackers a little bit. Chris Allen, King Makuta, Jerez Parks, there's Ben Davis, Kevin Harris, number 44. I mean, Sal Sinceri is as good as it gets at the outside linebacker position. Alabama loses Anthony Jennings. Alabama loses Terrell Lewis. They need leadership. They need guys who can get to the quarterback, need to get to that Alabama defense of the past where sacks were part of the philosophy, part of the game plan. Really haven't seen that lately from Alabama, in my opinion. I think you need to get to that defense of the past and, get heat on the quarterback. I thought at times that Alabama lacked getting heat on the quarterback, in my opinion. What do you think? At the corner position, as we've talked about, Patrick Surtain is going to play corner. It looks like they're trying him out. He could also play the star position. And we got to have a big season from Josh Jobe, right? Alabama needs Josh Jobe to step up. This is another guy, Jalen Armar Davis, that looks to be rotating in at that star position. Brandon Turnage, Marcus Banks. There's a lot of guys at that corner position that are a little unproven and need to step up. So you have Surtain, who's the veteran, right? I mean, Pop's played in the league. Surtain's going to play in the league as well. And then I think I've talked about this before. The safety position, right? Who's going to step up? It's going to be Daniel Wright. I mean, I've seen Daniel Wright so many times, and he has so much athleticism. I think he's a game changer. I think he could be a guy who really steps up. Behind him, you have a guy like, this is Eddie Smith right here, but you also have DeMarco Helms back there working with Charles Kelly. Charles Kelly does a great job with the secondary. And I think there's enough talent there to really be productive. And here's some other nuggets for you right here. From what I hear, when the offense and defense, they've been going at it early in August. And, there's some times that the offense can't put it in the end zone. And I think that says a lot about the defense because the offense is always going to start off hot, right? They're always going to start off hot in college football. And think about all the talent that Alabama has on the offensive side. So when I hear that sometimes the offense can't put it in the end zone, that tells me a lot about the defense because all my questions are about the defense on this year's team going into the season. Call line is open 205-686-3674 is the calling number. And I appreciate, to catch up with you guys. 205-686-3604. Looks like some people are having trouble with the stream. Is that everybody tonight or what's going on? Let me know. I'm hearing that we're having issues with the stream. I can check on that really quick. And looks like we got a call coming. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Looks like we lost the call. Call back. Sorry about that. Looks like we're having some issues with the stream. Weird. Sorry about that. You can, of course, watch the replay tonight on YouTube, or you can catch it as a podcast or wherever you get your coverage. Appreciate it, Will. Let's see.
Call from
Louis.
Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Jacksonville, Florida, Louis Ferguson. How you doing today, sir?
Hey, what's up, Louis? How you doing, buddy? Thank you so much for calling in.
Yes, sir. I'm a big Roll Tide fan, sir. I'm from Mobile, Alabama.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Beautiful down there. I've been to South Alabama many times and it's such a beautiful country and down there. And, I love going down to Fairhope and, Mobile and Gulf Shores, all that. So go ahead. It's your show.
Yes. My concern is our offense was pretty good last year. Just experience on the defense. We lost Dylan Moses right off the gate, and we also lost LeBron Ray. He was spending time he was out. That really hurt the defense because the defense was so young. You had to put a lot of freshmen. But I feel like when we having Dylan Moses, LeBron Ray back, and Josh McMillan, I think that's going to give the defense a big boost this year.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think you probably hit the nail on the head. I mean, Dylan Moses returning, LeBron Ray. I mean, two guys that you definitely needed to make an impact last year, and missing those defensive leaders certainly impacted the defensive performance. I mean, Dylan Moses, and just like I said earlier, Dylan Moses is a guy that comes around just once in a great while. I mean, this guy has NFL written all over him, speed, intelligence. I mean, just everything that you want on a leader. And then LeBron Ray, I mean, he was very productive. He can get after the quarterback. So missing those two guys, definitely a big impact, to some of the performance from the defense last year.
Right, and not to mention that we have Charlie Strong in the skybox to kind of mention a little bit the defense coordinator. I think that's going to be a big plus for us.
Yeah,
Charlie Strong.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, think about all the experience that Alabama has, just from a coaching perspective, but an analyst perspective as well.
Yes, sir. Charlie Strong is a major recruiter too in the state of Florida, and his eyes helping out everybody on the defense side of the ball. I think that's going to be a plus on our defense, and I'm not worried about our offense. Our offense is already there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in my opinion, I feel it's almost like a plug and play type season for the offense. And I know a lot of people want to talk about the quarterback situation. But really, other than that, I mean, what other questions are there on the offensive side of the ball, right? It's like almost like how many points is this team going to score and who are they going to score against? But my questions, remain going into the season are on the defensive side of the ball, because I think a lot of people that are Alabama fans want to see an improved defense because that's a defense that they're accustomed to.
I think so. I think the defense is going to be a lot better this year. They have a point to prove this year. And like I said, if we had just a little bit of defense last year, we could have easily been national championship. Easily. And we just didn't have a defense. That's the only thing that killed us last year. And the section of Tua getting hurt.
Yeah, I mean, those are the two major factors. I mean, I think weak points in the defense, weak points at special teams. I think you got to add that as well. Mm-hmm. And then weak points, with Tua going down. I mean, the way Tua went down, I mean, that disrupted the entire season. Not being able to stop LSU, that was tough to do. Not being able to stop Auburn in critical situations. I mean, those are the major takeaways. Not being able to make field goals, right? That was critical.
And I think Mac Jones going to learn from the mistakes that he made. I think the more better he gets on the field, the better he's going to get. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I think with a guy like Mac Jones is, he has so much experience, played so much last season. And think about this. Here's another nugget. Mac Jones and Jalen Waddle have on the field continuity. Think about this. Jalen Waddle last year against Auburn. Okay. Nobody wants to rewind and talk about the Auburn game. However, Jalen Waddle had 4 receptions, 98 yards, 3 touchdowns. All the touchdowns obviously came from Mac Jones. Those guys have been working with the twos. It's crazy to think Jalen Waddle worked with the twos last year because he was still so productive. But my point is Mac Jones and Jalen Waddle have on the field continuity.
Right. And don't forget about Devontae Smith, too. He's going to show out. He's one of the best route runners in college football, period.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Devontae Smith. Oh, yeah.
And I think the thing I like about Devontae Smith is how humble he is. I mean, I'll never forget interviewing him after the national title game, after he just, pulled in the natty and, it was like no big deal, just back to business.
Back to business. That's true. Nick, he wants this title. I think we're going to win this title this year. I think we can win it this year. I think it'll be between us and Ohio State, though. I'm not going to count Ohio State out.
Yeah, it seems that, even in recruiting team-wise, that it seems like Ohio State and Alabama continue to be on some sort of collision course.
It is. I hope we get that kid from Georgia, Mims, that big offensive lineman.
Maris.
Maris. I hope we get him, though.
Yeah, that'll be big. I mean, that will be, kind of the capstone to this offensive line group. Tommy Brockemeyer, James Brockemeyer, Terrence Ferguson, J.C. Latham, Amarius Mims, right? Someone said it best. I didn't come up with this, but someone said that's like building the Great Wall of Alabama.
It is. You're right. And then added Payne on defense, on the defensive side of the ball. And they're trying to steal the defensive tackle from Ohio State that went to IMG. I can't pronounce Adelio. I can't pronounce his name.
Tamisi Adelia, yeah.
Yeah, they want him too. He had pretty much committed to Bama a while back, and then he went to Ohio State. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Well, thank you so much for calling in. I'm sorry, and I missed your name, by the way. What was your name?
Lewis Ferguson.
Okay, Lewis, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it tonight. The dialogue was good. Please call again next time, and I'm going to move forward with our next caller.
Okay, thank you, sir. You have a great night.
You too, buddy. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Okay.
All right, call line is open, 205-686-3604. Brought up some good points about this team and the weaknesses that they had last season, right? I think there were three things that ultimately went wrong. Tua Tagovailoa being hurt, being the most important factor. The second factor, the defense, right? There was too many weak points in the defense. Couldn't stop Auburn, couldn't stop LSU, right? Thirdly, special teams. And nobody talks about the special teams, but obviously it's great. It has to improve. Is Will Reichert going to be Alabama's saving grace? I mean, I know the kid can kick, he can punt. Joseph Bulovas is back. Is it going to be him? Alabama certainly has to improve in all facets of the game. Will Reichert, went down with an injury last season, and he returns as a sophomore. A lot of experience. Could this guy save Alabama's special team game? Could he improve it? Call line is open, 205-686-3604. I'll talk about the quarterbacks more. I got some more nuggets that I'm going to drop on BamaInsider.com. That'll be on Thursday, August 6th. And, I mean, what does there to say about the quarterbacks? And how do you feel about the quarterback situation? You comfortable with Mac Jones coming back? I am. So much experience. And I think Alabama, they have to feel comfortable with their veterans going into the season. You also have Bryce Young. Bryce Young coming in, a lot of expectations. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. He didn't have time to develop continuity with his wide receivers during the springtime. He was one of the, everybody was so excited to see this young man. You also have Paul Tyson, Alabama's big pro-style quarterback that nobody's really talking about. He's making strides, right? 6'5", 225 pounds. And I think this year more than ever, I don't think it's so much about who's going to start. I'm certain it's going to be Mac Jones, right? If he stays healthy and he goes in the season, he's a leader, he's proven. But I think this year more than ever, especially with, whatever could happen, if players get sick, you need depth, quality depth. So whether it's, Bryce or Paul Tyson, just knowing that you have guys who know the system, who can come in and make the play, I think it's certainly important. So we can dive more into that next time. We can talk quarterbacks, and I can take your questions. 205-686-3604. What's up? What's up, Will? I see you on there. I'll go ahead and post this comment. All right. What's up, Will? Kyle. By the way, nice suit. Like that bow tie. Kyle, is Georgia the new rivalry? The last few years, it seems that UGA. Let's take this call real quick, and then I'll continue with that. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson at BamaInsider.com. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
This is David calling in from Halton, Louisiana.
Hey, what's up, David? Hang on real quick. I'm gonna finish this reading this online from Will, and then I'll be right with you. Okay?
Go ahead.
Hang tight. Okay, back to Will. Kyle, is UGA the new rivalry? Last few years, it seems that UGA has out-recruited everyone and is loaded with talent. Do you think Bama can still hang with them? I know Bama's offense is loaded, but UGA's defense seems elite. Do you think that Bama can keep the streak and continue to beat UGA? Well, Will, I appreciate the question. I think that obviously Georgia is a bad moon rising. I can't figure out why they haven't put it together. Kirby Smart hasn't been able to beat Nick Saban. He's had 2 opportunities to do that recently. He'll have another opportunity this year. He could probably have 2 more opportunities just because, as you said, Georgia's defense is that good, and I still feel that they're the best team in the East. I think with Georgia is the fact that I don't know if they're going to have the offensive firepower to beat Alabama, right? A lot of question marks when I look at Georgia about the quarterback position. How, they didn't have any time to build that continuity either. So that's kind of where my question marks are. And then on the defensive side, I think that Alabama's offense is just unbelievable. And it's kind of like pick your poison, right? Do you want to try to figure out how to stop Jalen Waddle, which you're not going to be able to do? You want Devontae Smith running all over you? Do you want the younger guys, the younger wide receivers doing their thing? Or do you want to get a Najee Harris, a dose of Najee Harris 35 times? I mean, that's something that I could definitely see Alabama doing. I mean, Najee Harris is, in my opinion, the best running back in college football. Not an Alabama homer. I cover Alabama, but I think when you have a running back who has experience as Najee Harris and has that capability, 6'2", 235 pounds coming back with the experience, the explosion. I mean, Alabama's offense, too tough to stop, most dangerous offense in all of college football. We got David on the line from Louisiana. What's up, David? How you been, buddy?
Oh, been pretty good. Just working.
Yeah, well, first
Like
of all,
always.
thank you so much. I know you called in several times. I've asked for people to call in, and you call in all the time. So thank you so much for calling in. I know you're in enemy territory in Louisiana. So what's on your mind, buddy? It's your show.
Oh, just calling in about this scheduling situation. I know nobody really knows the whole situation on whether we're going to pick up Florida or Vanderbilt. Me and my brother, he's a diehard LSU fan, and he was like, well, the next 2 years, y'all have Florida on y'all schedule. He don't believe that we'll pick up Florida because, next year we play them, and it would be 3 years in a row that we would play them unless they cancel the second year, that we were going to play them, and put somebody else on the schedule. And then another thing is with the way it is now, a 10-game conference, and then the championship game, the playoffs, and then the national championship. Now, in the bowl games, there's going to probably be some teams that are going to be 4-6 or, 3-7 getting bowl games because we lost 2 extra games. Do you think that's going to happen as well?
Well, I think about this when I think about the college football schedule, and I just want to talk about the SEC football schedule. And thanks again for calling in, David. I have no idea what's going to happen with the rest of the schedule. People are saying, like I said earlier, it's going to be Vanderbilt, it's going to be Florida. How about this? Let me pose this question to everybody on the board. And then this isn't something that I've seen anywhere else. Okay, what happened with the Pac-12? With USC and UCLA. I know I said I want to talk only SEC football, but my point is USC and UCLA are playing at the front end of the schedule. Would it be completely shocking to you to see Alabama and Auburn play the first game of the season? I know people want to see that game Thanksgiving weekend. I do too. I want to see any type of game at this point. But the reasoning, Alabama and Auburn, they don't have to travel out of the state of Alabama. Less quarantine, right? You have less margin for error. You have less personnel issues. You can meet in Tuscaloosa. You can meet in Auburn with everybody healthy, hopefully, and you can play that game. You can 100% play that game. For example, if Alabama had to go to Vanderbilt and play in Tennessee, do you see what I'm saying? Crossing state lines, it creates more of some situations that you have to deal with. So maybe that's why when looking at the Pac-12, that's why USC and UCLA are playing first. Any thoughts on that?
I personally, I would rather them play it's just been a tradition for how many years to play Alabama and Auburn the last game of the year. It would just throw everything out. But the way the world's going right now, it wouldn't surprise me that they, that it couldn't happen, that they put them the first game of the year. Mm-hmm. But it would just throw the tradition out of whack for hopefully just for one season, if that's the case, and then hopefully in the 2021 season, we'll be able to go back to the normal 12 games, with everybody's schedule like it's supposed to be. But right now, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me how they do it, I mean,
that's kind of my point. That's my point is that, don't be freaked out when you see the schedule, and don't be expecting anything because, all bets are off this year. We have no idea what's going to happen. This is the bizarre world. So don't expect your normal, Thanksgiving game to be Auburn. Is it going to be Auburn? I don't know. When's Georgia going to be? Could it be a slate of think about the opponents, Georgia, Auburn, Florida. I mean, that's a daunting schedule. LSU, Texas A&M, very difficult. And then you talk about this. How is the College Football Playoff Committee, who just announced they're going to wait till the SEC championship to determine the playoffs, if we even get that far, how are we going to even determine the playoffs? It's complicated now. if you have these SEC teams beating up on each other and you have the Pac-12 with Oregon just slicing through everybody, how are you going to make an argument for which team should get into the playoffs? It's already too complicated.
Yeah. I'm ready for some football just like everybody else is. And, it's going to be kind of depressing not seeing and hearing the crowd screaming and, everything else. Like, I know they're talking about like a 50% capacity and all that. This is just some crazy mess going on. And I'm just ready for everything to get back to normal, and it's just, it's a sad situation right now, but, I think Mac Jones has got something to prove this year. I mean, he did really great last year. He got thrown in the fire, and he handled it really well. He handled it like he'd been playing on the field for, since the beginning of the season. Whenever he lost to Auburn and LSU, and it was just. I think he's got something to prove this year. I also think that Trey Sanders is hungry and wanting to prove that he can, do just as good as Najee or whoever else, and defense, I just hope the secondary can, buckle down, because that's what hurt us last year quite a bit, was a lot of the deep balls, and I'm just ready for some Bama football and hopefully win another national championship.
All right. Well, good stuff, David. I got to move to the next call, but thank you very much for calling in, and I appreciate it. Stay safe out there, buddy.
All right. You too, brother. Be safe.
All right. Take it easy. All right. David from Louisiana, thank you very much for calling. Like I was saying, I mean, I don't know what to expect from the season. I know some people have been having trouble with streams, so I'm sorry. I have no idea what to do about that. Might be something on YouTube. I don't think it's anything on my end, but it could be. I mean, who knows what's happening this year? Got another call coming in.
Call from
Michael Blunt.
Hey, Michael, what's up, man? Kyle Henderson. Where are you calling in from, buddy?
Hey, Kyle, I'm calling from Pensacola, Florida. How are you today?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. Will you turn your audio down in the background if you have any, please?
Yep, sorry, I just turned it off.
All right, so Michael from Florida, is that what you said?
Yeah, man. So I just wanted to call in two things. I'll be quick and simple. First, your outfit looks great, man. I like the tie.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. My, not used to being in a tie, without watching some college football. So it's kind of awkward at sometimes, but I appreciate it, man. Trying to look a little bit dapper, and I appreciate it, man. What else you got?
Yeah, man, looks good. Well, hey, I saw today that they gave, something about Steve Sarkisian's contract got extended or bumped up or something. And I just want to kind of get your thoughts on that, and your thoughts on the possibility of them trying to keep Steve around for quite a while, or is he just are they doing this just for 1 year, or do you think they're trying to keep him in for at least another 3-4 years or so?
I think with the situation with Steve Sarkisian, I mean, they bumped him up today to $2.5 million, which makes him the highest paid assistant coach in all of college football. I mean, that's some serious skrilla, right? But I think that Steve Sarkisian is a future head coach. Absolutely. So I think that, whatever happens in this Frankenstein type year, we'll get through it. And I think he's going to have plenty of options. I mean, can you imagine the resume that he's going to have after leading 2 Alabama teams back to back, from working with Tua Tagovailoa, then transitioning to Mac Jones / Bryce Young. I mean, going into this year, having the weapons like Najee Harris, Jalen Waddle. I mean, the offensive line is amazing. So as much as Alabama can pay him, there's probably, some head coaching places out there that can pay him a lot more. Right. And that's just kind of the name of the business. I'm sure Alabama would love to keep him. But as you know, that doesn't happen at Alabama because Alabama continues to be a breeding ground for future head coaches.
Yeah, exactly. I just hope we get him for at least a couple of years. He's just such a good offensive coordinator and has so much value. Like you said, they're going to be looking for him. The Sharks with these other programs are going to be looking for him. And I just hope we can keep him for at least a couple more years, especially, while we have Bryce Young.
Yeah, I think so. And think about this. And we're on the line with Michael from Florida. The continuity that Steve Sarkisian and Bryce Young are going to have that they already have, because, Sarkisian recruited Bryce Young and the West Coast ties. So when those two are working together, they already know where they're at from a continuity standpoint. And I think that that's really going to help, develop these guys and certainly help Bryce with the process going forward. Steve Sarkisian is a great offensive coordinator. And just like I said, he has so much talent to work with. And then recruiting West Coast ties, that's very important. Alabama needs someone on the staff that recruits the West Coast. And, as you know, there's plenty of talent on the West Coast, and Alabama needs to continue to facilitate that, to keep California, to keep, prospects like JT Tuilamola up in Washington, to keep those guys in the pipeline. And, Sarkisian plays a pivotal role in all that.
For sure. Yeah. And our Hawaii guys too, the Tuas.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the Tuas, and the Tuas out there. So you're absolutely right. Anything else, Michael?
That's it, man. Thank you so much. And again, I really appreciate your show. I watch it every time. I listen to all the stuff that you and the other guys do. So thank you so much for everything you guys do.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you so much. Please call again. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. That was Michael from Florida. Wow, that's crazy. I'm sorry about the stream. Keeps coming out. That's too bad. That's unfortunate. I don't know if that's, if anyone, it sounds like a lot of people are having those issues. Hopefully you can rewatch the show, but I apologize. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, sorry about that. All right, Nathan. Yeah, I don't blame you, man. If something cuts out, I'm out. How about coming in from Metcraft? How about Sarkisian as the assistant head coach of Bama? I hope and expect Saban to be a head coach for many years, but Sark to be a good choice to take the wheel. I mean, I don't know. I mean, is that completely out of the realm of possibility? I mean, when you look down the road, maybe not, in my opinion, you never want to be the guy after the guy. I mean, there's some guy out there. Think about this. There's some guy out there that's going to follow Nick Saban. Do you want to really follow Nick Saban? I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe that could be a good transition, but you never want to be the guy after the guy, in my opinion. Call 9 is open, 205-686-3604, and I will talk with you. And again, Michael, thank you so much for the call. Appreciate it. Yeah, Sarkisian got paid. And if you're just joining the show, I put up a graphic of the defensive coaches as well. Here's a new coaching contracts for the defensive side. Pete Golding, defensive coordinator, now up to 1.2. How much pressure does Pete Golding have coming into the season? Maybe he doesn't have any. I don't know. Maybe he feels good just knowing that Dylan Moses is back. I mean, Saban really believes in this guy. I think you should give him another opportunity. I think if you're an Alabama fan, you owe it to him, to see an improvement from the offensive side. Starting two inside linebackers or freshmen, it's difficult to do. I don't think anybody could have done a better job, right? Probably do a worse job. How about these two guys? I mean, I love this frame right here. These guys are all business. Dr. Matt Ray's been awesome to follow on social media. And these guys have already played an integral part in the recruitment process, right, for Alabama. They're definitely getting paid as well. I talk about the contracts more at the beginning of the show. Thank you for joining me tonight, Kyle Henderson, BamaInsider.com. And if you want to call in, now is a great time. 205-686-3604. Here is our Super Chat, Hall of Honor. Club 100, Tony Hill jumped in there last night. Appreciate that. Brandon Williams moving up. Already had a $20 Super Chat on this particular show. Bombs and Paul Robinson, those are like our staple guys. Alex as well, even Jackie White. So there you are on the screen. Upper Deck Tailgate Crew. And then thank you to everybody also in our Loyalty Club member program. Touchdown Club on the left, Loyalty Club on the right. If you're curious to learn more about the Loyalty Club program or the Touchdown Club, just hit the join button at the bottom of this video. Thank you so much to everybody who contributes to BamaInsider.com. But if you want the complete scoop and you want to get that inside access every single day, I'm going to show you how to get free 30 days to BamaInsider.com. Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. This is how to get free 30 days on BamaInsider.com. First thing you got to do, go to BamaInsider.com and click on the top banner. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to create an account, email, username, password. The second thing you're going to do is confirm your subscription. Make sure that the promo code is entered right here. It says promo successful, roll tide. The third thing you're going to do is enter your credit card information. It has to be valid, and don't worry, you're going to get that 30 days free. As you can see, once you've added a credit card, you're going to get the promo code. As you can see right here, it says $0. After that, you got to make sure and cancel within that 30 days if you don't want to be charged that $9.95. But hopefully, you're happy with all the coverage on BamaInsider.com, so you won't need to cancel. Once you're a premium subscriber of BamaInsider.com, you can access Andrew Bones' recruiting board. You can jump on the Talk of Champions message board and have a great time with thousands of Alabama Crimson Tide football fans. We hope to earn your business at BamaInsider.com. All right, we got a new caller. Who are we on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Alexander from Arizona.
All right, what's up, Alexander? Appreciate the call from Arizona, beautiful part of the country. I used to live in New Mexico. That's where I'm from. So Arizona, been there many times. And your first name was Alexander from Arizona?
Yeah, you can call me Alex. That's cool.
All right, what's up, man? So your show, take it away.
Yeah, man, just a quick question. Might be shot in the dark, but some reports came out about Ali Cajo, maybe an injury there. He's been a guy that I followed, just being out here in the Southwest a little bit. And just seeing if one, if you got any kind of news on that, and two, do you think he's a guy that can really maybe break into like a starting role in the next season or two?
All right, yeah. So I appreciate the call. Thank you so much. I think what I know about Ali Cajo that he did suffer injury. Now, injury news is tough to get because of privacy laws. So, you can't go digging for injury news just because of the respect for those particular athletes. But I do know that he's injured. I don't know what type of injury is. I know what you guys know, that he posted on social media that he was in a leg brace. But I don't think it's going to be too serious to keep him out of the season. But again, it's hard for me to speculate on injury news because of the privacy laws. But I do know team-wise that he was working with the twos at the inside linebacker. There's another nugget for you. So I think once he does come back from his injury, and again, I don't think it's serious, that he is going to contribute. I mean, he was a special teams giant for Alabama last season. I love his athleticism. He's kind of like a hybrid safety type linebacker. I really like his overall play. I think sky's the limit for this guy. I think he's certainly going to get onto the field. And I think the extension of, the SEC starting late bodes well for him. He can get healthy and get back to where he was. But Ali Cajo, I'm a big fan of him as well. Really respect his game. Always comes with it. Always comes to play. And, Dylan Moses is a senior. You got Christian Harris as that sophomore returning. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ali Cajo next year is the guy inside linebacker.
Yeah, that'd be nice to see, man. He's got a lot of great talent, man. It's sucks to see him go down, but hope he gets better soon. And I want to kind of be a dead horse, man. Thanks for the great show you guys put on, man, throughout the week. It's especially now under COVID-19, man. It's a great getaway and distraction. So you guys do a really good job.
Hey, thank you so much, Alex. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch up with you soon.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
All right. Alex from Arizona. If you guys could give a thumbs up, I appreciate it on this video. That certainly helps our channel grow, helps us meet our marks, and definitely subscribe so you never miss content from the BamaInsider.com staff. On Monday, we have a Bama in the NFL, and then on Tuesday, we have our recruiting show with Andrew Bone. Wednesday night, I'm trying to get back in the rhythm of having a nightly team show now that there's some team stuff to talk about. So thank you so much, and get accustomed to these Wednesday shows. I know that I'm the owner of BamaInsider.com, so my staff does a great job. Tony Sukalis, fantastic team writer. Tyler Waldrop, he's coming through. He's a guy that we recently hired. And of course, Andrew Bone, pivotal part of the team. So I know that there's competition out there. I know that you have options to get your Alabama Crimson Tide football coverage. I mean, heck, we compete with ESPN. I mean, ESPN just being right here in Alabama, just because Alabama is the flagship of college football. So I know you have options, and I just appreciate you guys being here and taking the time to be with us right here on BamaInsider.com. So it means a lot. Hit the thumbs up button. All right, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who are we on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
This is Javarius Cole. I'm calling in from Sheffield, Alabama.
Hey, what's up, Javarius? How you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm making it, man. Roll Tide.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Roll Tide right back at you, man. So it's your show, man. Take it away.
I really feel like people be too hard on the defense from last year, man. If we would have had a better ball control offense, I really feel like we could have helped the defense out a whole bunch, man. A whole bunch. You can't go out there scoring on the first play and expect two freshman linebackers to just jump out there and make plays. You gotta, I don't know, man. I feel like our offense was just too good, and the defense they take way too much blame.
Yeah, I think when you look at the defense last year, if you rewatch tape from last year, if you rewatch the games, you just see how inexperienced the defense was, especially in the interior part. I mean, losing Dylan Moses, I think the writing was on the wall when he went down. When Joshua McMillan went down, I mean, these are guys that played a critical role in just kind of the leadership aspect. And losing those guys, I knew it was going to be dangerous. I knew that Dylan Moses going down was not a good sign. I felt that Shane Lee did the best he could do. Remember this, Shane Lee, I know there's a lot of people that don't like his game, but he played the most snaps out of any freshman last year. He put the hat where he needed to put it. He was a good tackler, not very good in coverage. So he did the best he could do. And Alabama put the best guys out there. Why didn't Ali Kahu start?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he couldn't jump some of those guys, but they put the best guys out that they felt.
Okay, I understand that, but I don't understand why we threw the ball so much last year. Like, run the ball, man. Tua wouldn't get hurt if we just simply run the ball. You know, we win a couple more championships if we just run the ball. We got to get back to the Alabama way of breaking people's spirits, man.
I think you could potentially see that this coming year. Not because Mac Jones can't get the job done, but I think just because of the fact that the running back workforce is incredible. Najee Harris is going to be amazing, and he can be really that back that can take the ball as many times as you need to wear down the defense. I felt sometimes it was like Alabama over the past couple of years, they've scored too quickly, which puts the defense on the field for a long periods of time. But if you have, a guy that can really control that possession and score when you need to, that, kind of helps balance out a game, especially against SEC opponents, because, you can't get into these scoring shootouts because it puts so much pressure on the defense. Alabama can score when they want to, but I think, in my opinion, at least, and I'm not an offensive coordinator, obviously, but I'd like to see Najee Harris used to control the tempo of the game and then unleash Jalen Waddle and these other guys as you need to.
I completely agree, man. Appreciate you for accepting my call, man.
Hey, Javarius, thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. Have a blessed rest of your week, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Yes, sir. You too, man. Roll Tide.
All right, roll tide to you, buddy. All right, that was Javarius. Love that name, Javarius. Okay, call line is open. 205-686-3604. I'll be around for a little bit more. I'm disappointed to see that people are having trouble with the feed, man. I prepped, like a show like this, like all the graphics and the B-roll, B-roll is this. If you don't know what B-roll is, because you guys probably wouldn't, right? B-roll is this, having the ability to just hit a video and be able to play. So that's B-roll. So behind the scenes, I work on this and I make sure that the B-roll is ready. So if I need to talk about linebackers, I know where that clip is. If I need to talk about Cameron Latou, I know where that clip is. So I spend a good amount of time making sure that all of this is polished and ready to go for you for a show like this. So I'm disappointed that the stream isn't working, but that doesn't mean that this will be the last time that we get together. So we'll do this again Wednesday and we'll catch up. I'll be around for a little bit more. If you guys want to call in, 205-686-3604 is the number to call in. If you're not a member of the Super Club, Super Chat, you guys can, let me get that image for you. You guys can join and we appreciate it. I mean, and if you can't, just be sure and give us a thumbs up and we appreciate that as well. But here's a Super Chat Hall of Honor. Tony Hill up in the 100 Club. You got Rhonda Williams in the box seats. He already contributed $20 tonight. So thank you so much. So we appreciate all the Super Chats, but thumbs up and a like and a subscription right here on YouTube goes a long way. Wait for a few more minutes for a call, and we got one coming in.
Call from.
Hey, hello. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Yeah, this is Mike out of Jacksonville.
Hey, what's up, Mike? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, how's it going? Hey, listen, I've been listening to the callers talk, and there's several areas that I wanted to discuss. One of the areas, everybody's talking about the defense, but you remember now that the key to Alabama losses really and struggles last year because of injuries. And I know everybody talked about playing the freshmen, but now you got Dylan Moses coming back, you got McMillan coming back, and you got all these freshmen. It was 8 or 9 freshmen that played last year.
Yep.
Yeah. So looking at that, the defense is going to be okay. The secondary was sustained with those guys in the backfield. That I'm a little concerned in regards to the secondary. But and I think we got a couple of players back there that handle business. On the offensive side, I'm just going to be honest with you. Now, I watched Matt play in Jacksonville, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not hating on Matt Jones at all. But to me, the problem with Matt is that when the pocket collapses, he panics and he just throws the ball, and it normally ends up in a, interception. Now, like I say, I'm not hating on him, and we'll see what happens this season, as he plays more. But now I watched Bryce play, his high school. And you tell me this right here. What high school team do you know in the United States that get on an airplane every week and go and play every top school in the nation? Name one.
Bishop Gorman. Matter Day, IMG.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. No, well, yeah, you're right. It's like 5 or 6 of them. They
right. Yeah. They should have their own conference.
They're not playing across town.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's, I guess that's my point that I'm making, in the sense that these guys are playing, this guy and played the top teams in the nation and destroyed them,
Yep.
And so with that said, I watched this guy play, and, I had a debate going on online the other day with one of these guys, Alabama fan, that, that was a diehard Matt Jones fan. And I was just telling him, I say, look, you got to understand this. Bryce haven't had an opportunity yet in spring practice at all. And you got Paul Tyson and you got Matt. They've got 2 or 3 years on him. Yep. He's going to be fine. Once he gets now they're starting to practice now, I'm telling you. Once he learns the playbook and learns the techniques, then it's on him from that point, because the guy, I'm telling you, the guy is talented. And he is super talented. Looking at this whole, the offensive line is intact. I don't think we're going to have any problems on the offensive line. It's still, I know everybody keeps talking about Najee, but people keep forgetting about Sanders. People keep forgetting about Brian Robinson. Nobody's mentioning those 2 guys who are horses in themselves, And I know Sanders didn't play last year, but I think he's ready. And I've got a lot of faith in Robinson as well. I've seen him perform, but it seems like Najee is at a little bit different level. But with that backfield back there, I'm not concerned about the offense. And then I go back again, Kyle. I don't want to take up the whole time, but that whole season last year, we didn't have any special teams. The guys hurt in the 3rd week. So we really was crippled in special teams. We was crippled on the defense, and then we still finished 11-2. So looking at that, and then going back and even looking at the LSU game, everybody, LSU has been talking trash. Yeah, they beat us, and you remember what Ogeron said, Bama in the locker room when they beat us, and I won't forget that. I don't think Saban will either. But with that said, looking at that, what was the final score? 46-41, and you playing true freshman.
Yeah. So
I'm telling you right now, Bama is going to win. The natty is in our hands. I'm telling you. This is the most, to me, right now, looking at the most balanced team right now. And then what? We're looking at the most deepest Alabama team right now. We just haven't had, the horses to get off the bench. And my last thing I'm going to say, Kyle, is in Jacksonville, I got an opportunity I'm talking about the special teams. The new coaches right now, the strength and condition coaches. When they was at Indiana, I don't know if did you watch that game last year when Indiana played Tennessee?
I think I did. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you see how Indiana, now I didn't know anything about the strength and condition coaches, but what I noticed in the game, I'm right here in Jacksonville, so I watched it. I'm telling you, the condition of those Indiana players was off the Richter scale, man. Tennessee could not hang with them boys. And I was like, God, dog, they in good condition. It was like spring, man, just bam, throughout the whole game. And remember, it took Tennessee to win the game, 9 seconds left in the game? Something like that. A field goal to win it, come from behind and win it. And I'm telling you, these new strength and condition coaches are the real deal. And you're going to see that too. So you add the new strength and condition coaches. You add the offensive line that's intact with veterans. And then you got the veteran backfield. You add the defense with McMillan now. And then, Dylan Moses coming back along with the freshmen and the secondary, Patrick Surtain, all those guys. And then you got the special teams. I'm telling you, you can look for the natty man. So that's all I got to say.
Mike, you echoed a lot of my comments. I mean, you could tell that you go deep with Alabama because I've been saying a lot of the same stuff. I feel, that you're right. I think the new strength and conditioning coach is certainly going to impact. I think the upgrade at the special teams certainly going to impact. Dylan Moses back, Christian Harris. I believe in those guys at the secondary as well. You made some good points about Mac Jones. My concerns about Mac Jones going into this season, and we can dive into this a little bit more, kind of arm velocity strength. But I think Bryce Young, like you said, I mean, this guy has it. And I think that if he gets some time to really showcase that, he can do just that. So, we'll have to see what can happen with this coming season. And hopefully we do get some games, but I think you made some great points. So thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate it. Will you do me a favor, Mike?
Yeah.
Will you call in again, man, because you killed it. And I appreciate you calling in. So be a regular caller, call in, I'll make room for you, and we can have some more dialogue going in.
Okay, Cal, let me say one thing before I go, man, not to take up the time. I always like to listen to the enemy. I call the enemy. I'm down here in Florida, so I've been listening to Miami, with the Marshall kid, right? So they think that with the defensive back, it's a split between Alabama and Miami in regards to recruiting for this kid 5-star. So they seem to think that they got it wrapped up now. They're trying to pull all 5 kids out of the same high school. They've already got 2 on board. So I know Bone to be on, and I don't know what's the latest deal on Marshall, but they seem to think that they got it. So that's all I got to say.
Well, thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate it. And by the way, Bone dropped a big update on Jason Marshall on our recruiting show Tuesday night, so you can go back and watch that. But we'll have some dialogue again, Mike. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, buddy.
Okay, thank you, my brother. You take care now. Hey, and great show, man.
Thank you so much, Mike. Appreciate it.
All right, fun.
Thank you so much. All right. Hey, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening with the stream. I know a lot of people have been having issues cutting in and out, and I apologize. I have no idea what's going on. Maybe it's a YouTube issue. Maybe it's a problem with my Wi-Fi, but not Wi-Fi, but internet. So we'll definitely try to fix that going forward. And I apologize. I put a lot into this show, as you can see. A lot of detail goes into the graphics and everything right here on BamaInsider.com. We will definitely have another show, and we'll get together and we will do this right. So I'm sorry if the stream cuts out. You guys deserve a quality product, and I feel bad, but the internet, 2020, right? Blame it on 2020, just like everything else. I'll close out right now. No need if the feed is cutting out, and I apologize. Is the feed still cutting out? If it isn't cutting out and maybe it's back, I'll go a little bit longer. But if it still is cutting out, there's nothing I can do. So I'll wait for some feedback in the comment box, and I might be time to dip out. So thanks again, everybody, for joining us right here on BamaInsider.com. Again, all the coverage back at BamaInsider.com. Tons more nuggets. Dropped a little bit today, and more at BamaInsider.com. Have a beautiful evening. Take care of each other. And thank you very much for spending some time with me tonight right here on our YouTube channel. From beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, this is Kyle Henderson. I'll catch up with you guys soon. All right.